wanted to, I had some time last night and I just started looking around at, the goals list leaders, who's leading that, and assists and all that. And it seems as if we have ourselves a tie right now atop the goals list between Juan Leon Draisaitl and Austin Matthews, who you and your pops will get to see later tonight. There's a chance Coburg Papa, for his birthday, gets to see Austin Matthews score goal number 50. That sounds like an exciting ordeal.
Actually, let me get the exact text I got from him, because I don't want to misquote my own dad on my own podcast.
I get that. I can't wait to see it as you
Tuesday night.
Yes.
Tuesday night, 8:41 p.m. Wow, Leafs unbelievable. I'm okay if Austin waits till Thursday for number 50.
Oh.
He had already circled that he could get a birthday gift and seeing a milestone goal. I mean, not many people in Leafs history have scored 50. There's a list of 3. Dave Andreychuk did it twice. I think Rick Vaive might have done it 3 times, but he definitely did it multiple times, and Gary Leeman. But it's been a long time since a Leafs player has done it. Obviously, Matthews would have actually done it each of the last 2 seasons if they were full seasons and not wiped out by COVID. But that'll be cool. Whether he does it tonight or not, it's going to be maybe a little birthday present there for Coburg Poppy if Poppy pops one.
Yeah, you see, I heard the Poppy. I had used Coburg Poppy like earlier in our show.
You see what I was doing there? I just got the tongue twisted,
Yeah, you got Poppy, Papa, and you're like, Pops. I get it. I understand. But like the fact that both Draisaitl and Matthews tied at 49, I believe Draisaitl was asked about, and he's like, yeah, of course I want to find a way to beat Austin Matthews for that goal total. But like, that's pretty cool to see 2 of the best go at it, and just basically dueling, not just to get to 51st, but also who's going to end up getting more goals. I still think Austin can still crack 60 before season's end, but
I think they're both cracking 60, man, because they're both want to beat the other, right? Like it's going to be a sprint to the finish. Austin, as we're recording this, has 16 games left. Leon Draisaitl has 14 games left. I mean, 11 goals in 16 games is child's play for Austin Matthews, what we've seen, and 11 and 14 for Leon is like right in his wheelhouse. I mean, he's scored just a boatload of goals the last few seasons. So I actually think they both get to 60. I'm not making any predictions who wins. I mean, I guess you just give Austin the edge because he's got 2 more games to play. But I think it'll be interesting to watch. Probably more interesting than what the Art Ross is going to be. Like, I just expect McDavid to just win it by accident, because that seems to be what he does every year. I don't think he needs to try any harder to go for points. Like, he just doing what he does. He's already reestablished a bit of a lead here. It's only 3 points on Draisaitl as we're recording, but 3 points again on your teammate is a lot, because they're in on each other's goals so often. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun race to the finish. I mean, we've even got Roman Josi, right? He's got a chance at 100 points as a defenseman. So there's a few milestones to see. 60 goals might be the biggest of them all, though. And it's cool that there's at least 2 guys that look to have a chance. Maybe, who knows, maybe one of those players just behind him, Chris Kreider, or someone gets hot and makes a run at it. It's not impossible. But it's been a decade since someone scored 60 goals in the NHL, and there's only been a handful of guys who've done it in the last 30 years. So that's a pretty special mark that those guys are now within reach of.
Connor McDavid, by the way, reaching the 100-point tally, the 4th time in his career he's done so. Yeah, he's probably going to be the runaway winner of the Art Ross Trophy, barring some late season catch up here. You mentioned Roman Josi. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was in a meeting with a couple coworkers, and we were talking about Roman Josi, and I did not realize he had as many points as he had. I did not realize he was on this torrid of a pace throughout the year. Like, it's crazy.
If you look at his last month, he went bananas. Like, he was having a great season, but the last month has been like video game stuff. So that's why you probably didn't realize, because it's pretty recent that he's bolted this quickly, this fast.
Yeah, because we hyped up Cale Makar. At one point, people were wondering if Cale Makar was going to get 40 goals in a season. He's in his 20s in terms of goals right now, but Roman Josi is flirting with a 100-point season. He might come a little short of that with the amount of games he might have left, but that's still a remarkable point. And I get with the Norris, it's not necessarily about goals and assists for that position, but I mean, there's no question Roman Josi has put himself firmly in that discussion for the Norris Trophy this season.
Yeah, to me, it's got to be Makar, Hedman, or Josi that wins it. I mean, that's just my view of it. I guess something could change in the next month. There's still a bit of time here, but that to me seems to be your list of finalists, and then it's what order you want to write them down in when you get your ballot. Pretty heady stuff. I mean, the cool thing that underlies this whole discussion, frankly, is that this season right now is the NHL's best in terms of goals production since 95-96.
Yes.
In terms of goals per game. So that's, I mean, one begets the other, right? We're talking about the top players in the league chasing these special milestones. Well, part of the reason of that is because there's more goals being scored, and those are the players that account for points or goals on those goals. So, I think it's exciting. I think it's good for the league. I don't totally know why it's happened, because if you look at power plays, like it doesn't appear to be all driven by power play percentage. I would think, and I really haven't dug into this, I should probably be digging into it rather than just like speculating wildly, but let's go ahead anyway. I would think that we see more empty net goals these days because teams more frequently are pulling goaltenders early. Sometimes you see multiples in a game that then was sort of common practice in the 90s, say. But there's also been an influx of skilled players in the league, and that's got to be playing a role too. So I think it's great for the league. Whatever it is, I hope they can isolate it and continue it. We've seen some wacky scores lately. What was it? 11-2, the Pittsburgh Detroit game?
Yeah, like Detroit.
It's a 10-7 game involving Detroit a month ago. Like, I love it.
Dmitry Filipovich a couple of days ago put up a tweet saying that the Red Wings have had games where they've allowed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 goals allowed. Like that's zany. The other night I was watching a Florida Panthers Canadiens game that ended 7-4 in favor of the Florida Panthers. And
that's normal now.
Sportsmen. Yeah,
that's not like as crazy. Like 2 years ago, you'd be like 7-4. We'd be talking about it for weeks. But like now that just passes by your score line because you see that's like sort of wild scores now. I think it's great, honestly. I've enjoyed hockey this year. Like I'm especially like sort of once we got through all the COVID stuff, like the disruptions, and you never knew which team was playing when and what was going on. Like I think we're going to have a great run into the playoffs, and I think the first round is going to be nuts. We're going to have to do a pod every day or something. I'm kidding. There's just going to be so much to react to. I'm just saying, if 3 days go between pods, like it'll be like, wow.
Yeah, that's true. We had like an emergency trade deadline podcast, and we're going to have to do that for. I thought about this, right? And this is us again doing one of those like in podcast meetings here. Like, I mean, are you going to be on like Leafs playoff coverage? Like, how's that going to work for you this year?
I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't have any inclination what it'll be. But I mean, whether I'm on location all over the place, like I have been the last 12 or 15 years of my career, or if I'm based at home a little bit more, I'm still going to be watching all the action. So, I mean, either way, in some ways, if I don't end up going and covering like one series intensively, you can better keep a handle on what's happening elsewhere, because when you're immersed in it every day, there's just not a ton of time. Sometimes games are on in the afternoon when you're at practices or what have you. So I don't really know, but we're going to find a way, and it's going to be fun. Honestly, I think our playoff pods, we're going to have to up our game a bit.